Hello once again, guys and gals. I just thought I'd drop in. I wanted to do a video less about tools and more about something that someone asked me because, like, I'm sure some of you may not have seen my how to use ice trays thing, but people ask me different questions every once in a while, and whether they do it in person or through Facebook or even TikTok or YouTube. I try to see if there's a way I could put that into a video to give you a good example of how things are or how things work, because it's easier to see an answer and trust it than to hear an answer and trust it. And I should know, right? So, because I'm human, yeah, and I even have a hearing problem. So let's let's go on to the question of the day. I was asked, because I've moved and I have more backyard space than ever before, I was asked, how do I prevent pests? And the question is kind of moot on me because I'm not growing anything at the moment. But the question is not lost, it's just moot. I haven't been doing any pest control, but I have a plan for pest control because I do plan to start a small garden. And when I do, hopefully I can do that centering around the videos so that y'all can see from start to finish me starting a garden, me caring for the garden, and me getting things out of the garden. And I will round up what I'm worth, my tools were worth, and the needed necessity materials to start garden. And I will do the math on whether or not those materials yielded a profit at the end with the plants and veggies that come out of the garden. Hopefully, it is a profit. No one likes to lose, but I'm going to hopefully do that as a test to see if it's actually worthwhile for you to bother doing. And I will do it unbiased. Until then, the best way to keep pests out of your yard is not actually a fence, because birds and squirrels climb right over, snakes slither right under, and there's just there's no lack of pests out there. So, without further ado, the yard is pretty open, and what I will be using is something I've been casually shooting for the last couple of months since I've moved in. It is a 22 pellet. You probably remember these from my revolver videos where I said that a 22 ram set plus a 22 pellet could make a makeshift projectile when shit hits the fan and you can't get your hands on bullets anymore. And you go to the Home Depot or the Lowe's and you find ram set bullets, but still no bullets. Well, you have the 22 pellets, and you make yourself enough shots to catch some wild game or something. Well, in this video, you don't need the ram sets because this is actually a hunting gun. There's two of them. I have one in wood grain and I have one here. And the wood grain one does have a scope if you remember my videos heavy enough. And if you don't, I'm sorry, there is another one that has a wood frame. And this one stays out here because of its polymer frame. I am not worried about it being in the elements, the heat and all. It is a much older one. So I would probably say this is about 8 years old or so. And it is a break barrel, 22 caliber air rifle. Okay, I can't do it from there. Can't get the leverage. A lot of these are a bit strong. You have to slap them. I've gotten it to the point where I don't have to slap it, or I haven't had to slap it. Okay, just a little off today, I reckon. You take the BB and you put inside the broken barrel because it's a single shot. It loads upwards and it is ready to be fired. Of course, with this, it automatically goes into safety. So you have to push this little thing in front of the trigger away from the trigger. Then you can point down and shoot. Now, I would treat this like an actual firearm, but for most legal reasons it's not. There's this little piece that comes down and makes it safe. When you drop the barrel to load one, it automatically kicks it down and becomes safe while loading. This is advertised for hunting, and you can hunt, I believe, in the UK and Europe and England and all of those places. I believe they already hunt with them. But you can use it for pest control and squirrel and rabbit. It is called the Model the Model REHNP22, 22 caliber, 5.5 millimeter. It is given a number 619X14087 and made in China. It's funny they make this in China, but they can't sell any form of firearms in China. Maybe they sell this, I don't know. It is the Remington Express Hunter. And I guess because it is a hunting thing, it's got nitro mag gas piston printed on the side of it. And it just has this this one adjustable sight here and this one adjustable sight here. But it got sighted in a few years ago at a gun range. People looked at me a little funny, but they let me take it and I sighted it in. And now that I have the room out there, I've had it on the back porch and shot while I was grilling and things, and snap it right up, aim right on down, pull that trigger out, and fire. And this works really good for pest control. It has a limited range, and the bullets give it a more or less limited range. And they are cheap and inexpensive. You can buy them at Walmart, Dunham's. You can still buy things like this at Dick's. I don't know. They went through a gun destroying phase. How dare they? I won't shop there. But you can find stuff like this there. I don't know. I am currently using the Super .22 caliber by Ruger. And even though that is a Remington model gun, the other gun, the wood grain one, is a Ruger model. And they do the same thing. They just have different frames, different designs. They shoot the 22. And I have a few different kinds of 22 pellets for it. But this is relatively one of the newest packs that I've bought. Therefore, it was closer to the top in the pile of BB gun assorted things that I own. And so it's out here with this one, while the other one is behind a door in one of the rooms ready for action. I don't have custody of my kid, and when they come over I clean everything up for 2 days or so, and then I go right back to being mentally ready for everything. So I'm good. Doesn't matter. I don't want to dive into how things are stored in my house with children, or whether things are or aren't. It's not no one's business but mine, and the children are protected even if it puts me at jeopardy. So just showing you as far as pest control, that's what I use, because it's not a shotgun, it's not a 410, it's not anything like that where the neighbors can say, oh, he's firing a firearm, he's unloading firearms into the woods out back. People might be walking back there. I've looked thoroughly. I've talked to the neighbors. There is no one walking in that pile of a jungle back there. There's trash. There's a lawn chair with a tree growing out of the middle of it. The tree looks like it's 30 years old. The lawn chair looks like it's made out of antique metal before metal became metal kind of shit. So my point is there's nobody walking back there. I can't physically get into the woods back there to even examine. That's how bad it is. But I've hollered out back there. I've questioned. I've shot some rounds into the dirt just to find out if anybody would say anything, and no one said anything. It is a thoroughly safe direction to shoot, and that lies the only real problem for me with pest control. Even though it is an air gun, It is still a hunting style air gun, so it does have enough reach. If I was to see a bunny about halfway across my yard and it was eating my carrots and I wanted to take a shot at it, I couldn't take a shot at it at halfway across my yard if behind the bunny is my dog or my shed or my car or my house. You still have to be aware of everything around you when you pull a trigger, even if it's not a legitimate firearm, even if it's not legitimate ammo. Should always, always be prepared to legally deal with the ramifications of you pulling that trigger. And that is the point for why so many firearms enthusiasts don't understand the laws and restrictions people are asking for with more gun control. We are already so heavily restricted. We can't take a piss out of line. We can't make a mistake. And with hundreds of millions of us owning 400 and 500 millions of guns, we usually don't make a mistake. I'm not here to argue about it. I'm just saying that with this 22 caliber BB gun, pellet rifle, I do my pest control very carefully and very minimalistically. If I don't have to shoot, I'm not going to. I haven't shot any actual animals with this in probably 8 or 9 years. I did shoot a bird that was inside of a barn one time. It could not quite get out for whatever fucking reason, and it was shot and it was dead. And I shot it with this, actually. It was a great shot, but I mean, it disheartened me on hunting a little bit because that bird was already freaking out, but it was a crazed bird. It needed to be dropped down because it was going to starve itself to death flying like it was flying at that corner. I don't know what was wrong with it. So when I shot it, it was not only an easy shot, but something just felt wrong with that bird. Um, I wouldn't eat that meat. I don't know what was going on with that animal, and that's one of the big reasons why I don't particularly hunt now, is because if I kill an animal and I process it and eat it, was there something wrong with it? Is it going to hurt me? You know, was it hallucinating because of something that was really wrong with its diet? I don't know. Humans are poisoning everything now. So I don't even know if I trust hunting meat, but it has killed an animal, and it will kill an animal again if I have to, and I have the correct shot. So I guess the big question is, we'll see how I do pest control. But that is my plan, is to use these specifically designed for hunting and varmint control, precise tolerances for maximum penetration, and it's a 17 grain Ruger Super Point 22 caliber air gun pellet for pellet rifles. And it's going out of a Remington. Let's get the name off of it one more time. A Remington Express Hunter pellet rifle. And yeah, all things considered, that's my plan. You can get hollow point versions. You can get double tips. You can get cylindrical. There's all kinds of little ways you can get bullets for it. But those are what I'm currently shooting. And it's set and zoomed in for 75 yards. So it's fairly good. It's actually probably set for a little bit further than I would need to shoot. But that being said, it's ready to go. And I wouldn't even hesitate. I would use this out here if somebody came into my yard violently. It's a very effective pneumatic gun, and I feel that its purpose extends a little bit past varmint control and pest control. Not saying that it's all you need, but for the open space that I have, if someone, walks up on the property, they're talking about killing, murdering, or the R word, and they have a firearm and they don't notice I'm out here, I would pick them off with it. Anyway, that's my answer to varmint control, pest control. How do I do pest control? The answer is I don't right now, but there is plans to in the future. And stay tuned for those videos, which will be a series about me gardening. Thank you. Have a great day. And as always, stay safe out there.